Right, hello everyone. We'll be getting started shortly. Be patient with us as we get started. Brother,
Brother Gary,
how you doing, my brother?
I'm good, my brother.
Can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah. Hold on one second. Let me turn this down right quick. Hold on.
All right, fine.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so first, just want to start off with saying in general, just for the people that are tuning in, we'll be discussing different topics over time. Just it could be relationships, current events, and all different kind of things that we'll be talking about uh, as we go forward. And also, if you all have any suggestions for names for me and Ricky as we do this show, you can put those suggestions in the comments. Me and Ricky are looking for a name so we can title the show, and then that'll be what we go by going forward, so everybody knows to come to that show's name and so forth. And we're going to start off by doing somewhat of a recap of the last time that we met, where we talked about what men want in dating and relationships. So for everybody that may be new, this is my friend Ricky here, and then I'm Gary. Ricky is single, still out on the dating scene. I'm married, and so I'm off the market and so forth. But we want to have a good conversation as it relates to all of it, though. So as it
Correct.
relates to dating, relationships, marriage, everything that it comes with. And like I said, we'll be talking about other things as well as time goes forward. But everybody, you can feel free to comment. If you want to join the live at some point as you kind of see where the conversation is going and so forth, feel free to want to join, ask questions, or share a story of yours. So what we're going to start off today is last time when we were on, we Ricky, you mentioned that you typically when you're dating someone that
Mhm.
you're typically always putting that person's needs above your own. So you
Correct.
most times you're focused on what it is that they want, and you're trying to
Correct.
take care of those needs. So this
Correct.
time we want to make sure we get into what it is that you want. What is
Correct.
it that you want when you're out on the scene? What are the things that places you like to go? What are the things that you want a woman to know about you? So we'll
Correct.
just kind of start off from there.
Okay. I mean, just like what you said, I mean, I'm a very simple guy. But at the same time, things that I like to do, at the same time, I would like to think that the woman that I'm dealing with likes to do the same thing, which one of my number one things is, like God is first in my life, first and
Okay.
foremost.
Okay.
But on top of that is I love to travel. That's something with me doing photography now, something that I want to get more into the traveling thing, seeing different cultures and learning about different cultures. And it's a lot of history out there that I didn't learn in high school and things like that. So I want to kind of like educate myself on the history about, being black, being African American and things like that. Far as even like with the different ethnic foods, trying different foods, so trying different restaurants, not just being typical going to the same restaurant. So trying different foods, going to different restaurants. Uh, I love sports, so anybody that knows me know that I love sports. As you can see, congratulations,
That's
Braves.
right. Shout out to the Braves.
Yeah, but um, but I will say this, just to the point where I love going to sporting events. Not saying that the woman that I'm dealing with has to love sports like me, but just knowing that that's something that's dear to my heart, and at least and she would just have, would like to understand the game, I can teach her and things like that, because we never know what we would like if, saying somebody take the time to teach you or anything like that. I mean, they go
Right.
both ways. So with sporting events, traveling, trying different restaurants, and just right now that I'm older, I'm just into just simple Netflix nights. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing that we can mix it up. It ain't always about going out. It's about just being at home, enjoying good conversation. Because to me, I think having good conversations, talking about just what's going on in the world, how can we be better people, talking about, being honest with each other, things that I can do better, to better the situation and vice versa. So I think just kind of like holding each other accountable for things that you might not like, because like I talked about before about honesty, if you're not honest with your person that you're dealing with, you can't correct the situation. So that's something big with me. Closed mouth don't get fed. So we have to be better at communicating the things that we like. So that's one of the things that I probably haven't done in the past, is because I've always been about pleasing the woman, which I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But I kind of get lost in myself because I'm just all about pleasing. And then if it don't work out, I kind of feel down because it didn't work out. And I feel
Right.
like that, so yeah, that's
Okay.
that's basically it. Simple.
So we'll veer off a little bit. Like I said,
Okay.
so we're just gonna do free flowing.
Okay.
So tell myself and the viewing audience,
Mhm.
tell me what is one of the best dates that you've ever been on, where is one of the
Mm,
most memorable uh dates that just stands out for you just from over the years, and why?
mm.
Why was it the most memorable?
That's good. That's a good question. You caught me off guard on that one. Um, let me jump in my bag right quick. Um, mm, 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 mm. I can honestly sit here and say, man, oh man,
And while Ricky is thinking on that, the those that are here that's attending, if some of you all want to join in and kind of share what's one of your best dates that you've ever been on and why, once we get to that point, you all can feel free to comment or either request to talk about that. But
so
go
I would
ahead,
say
Ricky.
this: uh, a best date. I can honestly sit here and say a date where I ain't argue. So, to be honest, a situation where we just enjoying each other, where I didn't feel unease. I didn't feel like in a little box. So I mean, it's kind of hard to narrow it down because I'm simple. So it's not like I did anything extravagant where I, just it's always simple, But I will say this though: when I'm able to talk to a woman, it's not even about going nowhere. It's about just be able to have good dialogue, good conversation, and you getting to know somebody. To me,
Right,
that will make the best, because what I'm realizing is what's very important now is getting to know an individual.
right,
Because especially with me knowing that I want to date, but I want to take something to the next level, and that's important to me. And you can't get to that next level if you don't know the person that you're with. So
that's
not
right.
rushing into something is actually getting to know the good and the bad. I mean, that's with me too, because I'm not perfect, and I admit that. So it's about just good dialogue, good conversation, and you can laugh, because I'm
Right.
very silly. I say things, you can't take things personal, because that's one thing I'm gonna respect my women. Uh, but I'm silly too at the same time, so you can't take me personally with a lot of things I joke about. So yeah,
Gotcha. And
yeah.
I'll say one for me
Mm-hmm.
was in shortly after me and my wife probably went out my second or third date with her, and I can't think of the name of the club. right now. It was somewhere on the south side, one of the old school clubs from on the south side. But anyway, Tony Terry
Okay.
was there that night, and our man Lenny Williams. Lenny
Oh,
Williams.
oh, 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 oh. I got you. I got you.
So, we sat down, of course we were still getting to know each other. So we talked, had a really good conversation, as you said, that night.
Mhm.
And, the picture, it was a guy coming around taking pictures and selling like flowers or something like that. So I think we took pictures together, and I got a flower. And then we, kind of listened to Tony Terry sing his song, Went On With You. And
Mhm.
like Lenny Williams, what's the name of it? I know that
Oh,
got the
oh, 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 oh. Look, the
so
best, hey, as Steve Harvey said, one of the best love songs of all time.
that's
Because
right.
I
That's
love
right.
you. That more
Yeah,
he
there you go.
sprung his heart out.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And that was one of a number of ones I would say that was really, really
Mhm.
good and most memorable because it was one of our first dates that we went out on within our first 3 days that we went out on. And I just remember that night dancing and just having a good time on that particular night. So, that's good stuff. But that's kind of stuff we want to share with the people because us as men, like I said, we want to be enjoying ourselves when we're going out on these various dates and so forth too. So it's important that as ladies that you all know what it is that we want as well.
And then the
So
rights too.
like I said, you can see us
Thank
smiling, laughing, and dancing and enjoying you. And it's not just us kind of just sitting there looking at you enjoy yourself.
you. Mm-hmm.
So we want, as me and Ricky will be talking about more, we're really looking for people that went out, if you're single and out on the dating scene, really be looking to get in tune with somebody. And like
Mm-hmm.
Ricky talked about, having that good conversation, free flowing, and really getting to know each other. So that's one of the first things that we wanted to jump into. And then, so next, um, so Ricky, I'll get into this question here.
Okay.
What what are your preferences
Mm-hmm.
on how you like a woman to carry herself, whether in your presence or out of your presence? So whether it's character, the way they dress, all of that. Just basically, what are your preferences on how you like a woman to carry herself?
I would say this, confident. I feel like when a woman dress, you have to dress with confidence. And but at the same time, be presentable. Um, don't have too much because I don't want to put a woman in a box where because a woman always want to feel sexy, but
Right,
you can feel sexy in so many different ways. Um, so how would I want a woman to act, man? I want a woman to act like I'm there.
right,
Just like I think a woman, the vice versa, it's the same thing. A lot of times when you out of a person's presence, you act different. But I feel like if you act different when you're not around somebody, that means that either you hiding some or you feel like that you can't be yourself.
right,
If you
right,
can't be yourself, whether you with that person or when you're not with them, then that's not good. That's not a good situation. You know what I'm saying? I want a woman to just be herself. Be herself when she with me and be herself when she's not with me.
okay,
And like I said, just be presentable, man. Be respectful. I'm big on respect, so I want her to respect herself, but also respect me. Then that's the thing, carry yourself in a way where it's all about respect. You're gonna respect yourself where it's like, a person would sit here and say, you know what, man, Ricky girl, man, when she not around him, she say she got a man, or she don't do certain things that disrespectful. Because people
right.
can look at you sideways, people can look at you in a different way and be like, man, that nigga just don't know. Like she do this and she do that, and they make you look like a fool because that's how people gonna look at you because she acting a different way when she not around you.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you want somebody to act the exact same way, the way you act around me, act like that when you're not around me.
Okay. So I'm gonna just throw a little something else
Curveball.
in here. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say that the woman you're dating is really flirtatious.
Okay.
When she's with you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but also when she's out of your presence, she's also flirtatious
Uh-huh.
with other people. How would you manage that?
So, so when you say flirtatious, like far as what? Because that's different
Okay.
definition. Yeah.
So like, let's just say it's fall time now. So right. So let's just say she sees a guy out and about, and she just says, "Hey, I really like that jacket you got on," just out of the blue. You
Mm-hmm.
know, almost like flirtatious like.
Uh-huh.
Um, how would you feel about that if you were dating somebody that kind of seemingly was very flirtatious with other people?
Me personally, I'm cool with that. The reason being is because I'm the same way. People have said, in my past and things like that, I have a very flirtatious personality. And I think that comes along with my personality. I don't mean nothing by it, but like I said, it takes two to tangle. So I believe, regardless of you saying that, giving a compliment, and that person saying, "Oh, thank you," because the person can sit here and think 10, 15 different things saying that, "Oh, she liked me," or whatever the case may be. But it's how you act upon that. So
Right.
if you give a compliment and and then he come back and he try to holler at you and you shut it down by saying, I was just giving a compliment. I think it's a nice jacket, but I have a man. That's how you handle it. So that's why I always say it takes two. So my thing is trust the person that you're with and just know
Right.
they can handle that situation in a good way. So I don't care about a person get compliment because I do the same thing. Hey, you smell nice. I give compliments to a guy. Hey man, you smell good. What you got on? Shit, I don't care. I'm confident in who I am. I don't care. I give a compliment. Hey man, you smell good. Hey man, what you got? Because to me, I think that's what's missing with the world. Where we feel like that we have to live in this box that we can't be who we are, and that's what I'm saying about me being myself. Trust and believe who I am is the way God made me, and but at the same time, I'm gonna respect you. I'm
Right.
gonna respect
Right.
my woman because I know I have a good woman at home, and I know I don't care who's out there or trying to, get with me and anything like that. I'm not trying to mess up what I got.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what I'm just saying. At the end of the day, you have to trust one another. If you don't have trust, you don't have nothing.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
That's right. You can't beat that right there. That's
Yeah.
absolutely the truth. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So and going into another question, and again, me and Rick, we just gonna be free flowing and have a little fun tonight, and then we're gonna get into some more
Okay.
serious stuff shortly.
Yeah.
But Ricky, what is one or more of your favorite features on a woman?
Mm.
What
Just
would
one.
or
Just
and
one.
well, no, you say as many as you want, and also what is it that attracts you to somebody if you saw somebody just out in general? So the features on them and what attracts you to them.
Well, I'm gonna start off by saying that I like natural. I just
Okay.
and I don't not no woman that do anything. I just like natural. That's just me. What I realized over the years, I'm attracted to like eyes, uh,
Yeah, yeah,
natural, natural hair, um, and uh, you know what? You know what's so crazy, man? To be honest, regardless of who I'm dealing with, regardless of how she is, I want to be confident. I look like that's kind of all. I like a woman that's just confident. Whatever is going on with you, because none of us perfect. None of us perfect, but it's you being confident. And I believe that when you try to get certain things done and things like that, I just feel like that you're not happy with who you are. But but eyes, of course, natural hair, um, but features, like I said.
come on now.
Hey, hold on. You want to keep it? Okay, okay, okay. I will say this. Anybody that know Ricky know, gonna keep it PG. I'm a
Okay.
press man. Like I say all the time, when I'm doing my thing, I detail them. I detail
Uh-huh.
cities. I don't suck them. I detail them.
All right.
I try to keep it PG, but you know what? This is a grown man's podcast. Just keep it
Right.
100.
Right.
But I'm a breast man. But what I'm saying is like, but that's not going. mess anything up. That's just what I like. You
Right.
know, I always say you got your nines, you got your six, and you got your eights.
Mm.
So anybody know, if you look at the numbers, it's telling you what that woman is, right?
Right, right,
Eight,
right.
she got both. Nine, she got breasts, no ass.
Mm.
Six, she got no breasts, ass, right? But we all got our preferences. Women got their preferences. So, and that's the thing. At the end of the day, everybody got what they like.
Right.
But on top of us liking what we like, it's about what's going to make you happy. Because I
Right,
can sit
right.
here and say, I like a woman with green eyes, freckles, good hair, and everything, and she's a piece of ish, a piece of
Right,
shit.
right, right.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So when I'm realizing now, man, it's just all about, man, just how that person make me feel. It's how she make me feel, and that's what's important to me. So, but that's my thing. Really, just simple eyes, natural hair, and if she got big breasts, if she don't, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. I typically now I kind of know as I think back what it is that kind of got me. Most of the time I was attracted to women that had those bedroom eyes.
Okay, what that mean? What, like the chinky eyes, like yourself?
No, where you could just kind of see that sexual desire in there.
Okay, look at
like
they
like
taking you
like
back.
they
Well, look at it, taking you back,
like
huh? Uh huh.
right, right. Like they ready to tear you apart a little bit or stuff like that. I so so
So
that's
hold
one
on,
thing.
let's break that down. So you said the sexual eyes. Are you talking about like the movie Love Jones, like how Neil Long character and Lorenz
Yeah,
Tate character was? Like it just don't
yeah.
be like when they. Yeah, okay.
And
Go ahead.
like how women, you might not like how women bat their eye, like people say, bat your eyes at you or something like that, a certain kind of way. That kind of stuff. That's just one thing. But of
Okay.
course, you know me over years, so you know what my main feature is that I love. I'm an ass man. I love a
I
woman
got
with
you.
a real nice ass on her. That's what's gonna make me stop and
So you
make
talking
me
about? Hey,
say,
so what are you talking about? You talking about like more like an ant? You know how like how an ant shake? They got that little. I'm just saying. That what you talking about?
I,
The ant.
I ain't heard it like that before, but yeah,
Yeah.
it would be
Okay.
something
Okay.
like that, something
Okay.
like that. But yeah, man, I'm trying to think of, somebody. I can't think of nobody off the top of my head right now.
I got a
Give me,
couple for you.
give me some celebrities or something that come to
Yeah.
mind.
Lisa Ray.
Yeah, Lisa Ray. Yeah. Um, of course, Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, you like Megan Thee Stallion?
Huh?
You like Megan Thee Stallion?
Oh, shape wise, not wouldn't be anybody I would date. Just shape
Uh,
wise.
well,
No,
why is
definitely
that?
not.
We're
Why?
going to switch gears. Why is that?
Why she wouldn't be nobody I would date? Okay.
Yeah. Because you
Yeah,
don't know
she.
her. You don't know her. You
Well,
don't know
I don't know her. I don't.
her.
I
Okay.
don't. But I will judge her for my standards. And she, I just, and she may, and like I say to other people, I know they entertainers and so forth. They got to do what they do for a living. So that doesn't necessarily mean that's who they are. But for me, like you talked about earlier, I want a woman that I'm with to be more presentable to my standards
Okay.
and more covered up. I don't like a woman that exposes herself like that.
Okay.
But at the very same time, I like a woman that's presentable, but you can still see even in their presentation, they still are very shapely. Like
Mm-hmm.
for me, I've never cared much about how women dress like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I've never really just been like, I really want you dressed like this, da da da. Just I like more professional like women, dress like certain kind of way like that. And to me, I find that sexy in itself. that you dress professional like already, and you carry yourself like you talked about, confident, always nice. And one of the words I want to make sure I use is pleasant. Always pleasant. Don't have that attitude, rough around the edges sort of thing. Just a pleasant woman, and you're pleasant with everybody. Those
Mhm.
are That's the type of woman in general in the past that I would have been looking for, when I was out on the dating scene. And that's kind of what I would want. But yeah, just still nice and shapely though. I never got too deep into shape, but at the same time, like I say, in general as a feature, yeah, typically that would be what I'm looking at is the ass on the wall.
Well,
Definitely.
and I want to talk to the women right there. So when we talk about like types and stuff, just like women got types,
Right,
and that's
right,
what I realized. We all got our types, but as I realized, when I was in my 20s and teens, I was real picky, and that's why I
right,
probably didn't have. I wasn't in a lot of relationships because I wasn't gonna be with nobody that I didn't like. So with me being older, it still is the same thing. But what I realized is what's important. So what's
mm-hmm.
important is how a person make you feel. Like when you say love, when you look at the word love,
Uh-huh.
um, love is like when you with that person, you sit here and you say like, man, like how that person make me feel. Like when you do something or this person like automatically do something for you, they just they like read your mind and things like that. Like they gonna do whatever it takes to make you happy. And to me, I think a lot of times I'm a good listener. In the past, women always say I'm a good listener when they come down to like when they talk about things that they like. Because I ask questions, so that's something else I feel like that women and men need to do is when you dating somebody or you're in a relationship, ask questions. Because when you
Right.
ask questions, basically you getting to know that person. So when you sit here and say like, um, what you like, and it's just like with me, I'm kind of simple. Like I do like a little gift basket, but have all their favorite things in them. That's because I
Right.
listen. You know what I'm saying? And that gift right there would be something that a woman would like gravitate towards and be more over the top and appreciative of. Versus if you make all this money in the world and you buy them diamonds or diamond ring, yeah, it's probably cool. But from what I hear about women, them saying they like a man that listens. It might be
Right.
the simplest thing. They might sit here and say their shoe size. They probably said it one time, but the mental note, you remember that. And they
Right.
probably mentioned it one time, and they know they only mentioned it one time, but that would mean a lot to them. So just to switch gears, I just want, what I'm saying, like men and women to just be more in tune with the person that they're dating and the person that they are with or they married. Be more in tune because it's really all this stuff is simple. Everything is simple, and we make things so hard. But I think we make it hard because I think that we are not happy with the person that we with,
Right.
and you don't put the effort into that person because you're not happy. And like with me, you talked about earlier, this switching gears. I'm just going in a whole different. I'm talking now, so you can stop me
You good?
anytime, here.
You good? You good?
uh, about like I said, just being honest with each other and just knowing that if you stop wasting your time, if you know you don't want to be with that person, you dating that person, you want to be, tell that person, spare me my feelings, please, because I will learn to appreciate you by being honest with me than dragging me along and wasting another 2 or 3 months of my life. Because as we know, we getting older, and 2 or 3 months means 5 years sometimes
Yeah.
because what I'm saying. So we don't have time to waste. So what I'm saying, just be honest with each other, but just know if you like this person and you want the person to change, you have to communicate with the person. Tell him it's okay. Whether he get mad or not, you can walk away from the situation and say, "Look, I would just communicate with the person." But I will say this, ladies: when you're talking to a man, don't talk at him.
Mm.
please don't talk at him, because a lot of times men gonna take that as he feel like that you his child, and a man's gonna react in a certain way that you might not like. So just, it's certain ways. I always say this: it's not how it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
Okay? So if you just want to say like, "Hey, baby," or "Hey, Ricky," or whatever the case may be, and say, "Look, I think we should do this and we should do that," and you can have a grown-up conversation instead of a heated conversation, because we already know when it comes to a woman and a man both trying to have their way in an argument, it's not going to end good, because nobody's listening to each other. Everybody's just trying to get their point across.
Right.
So, it has to come to a point where we have to understand that being able to talk to each other, being able to have good dialogue, and just really just understand each other and talking over each other and things like that. And I guess it's just from my experience, I'm very laid back when it comes to relationships, things like that, Gary. So it doesn't. I will say this too about myself. We got to start holding stuff in. I'm a type of guy. I hold things in. That's my personality. I hold things in, and I have to do a better job at. If something bothers me, I need to communicate that to the person I'm dealing with at that particular time, and not holding it in and then blowing them. So I'm just saying this about myself. I have to do a better job of communicating. And that's what I'm saying. This is what this podcast is about us men and women being better people. So I'm putting my flaws out there, saying that I have to do a better job instead of holding things in and being a better communicator. Because I can take things, but when they hit at their head, I snap quick. And that's with everything. Everything. Job, relationship, friendship, everything. We have to do a better job of communicating. You should be able to speak your mind. The world that we live in now, freedom of speech. You should be able to speak your mind. Everybody's not going to always agree with you.
Right.
But you should be able to speak your mind. And it's okay. Go ahead, Gary.
And Rick, what are reasons that you feel like you wouldn't speak your mind sometimes as it relates to someone you're dating? Why would it be that you would not speak your mind sometimes?
From my experience, is the fact that I'm scared that it's going to cause an argument. Especially when I'm dating a woman. Conflict. I don't like conflict. And when I'm dating a woman, I'm just like, man, I just don't want to argue. You know what I'm saying? Because arguments, it takes so much energy from you.
Right.
The man and the woman. And then it gets to a point where I feel like a lot of things that the man argued about and the woman argued about it could have been resolved just in a simple conversation. I want to say that it's the simple things. Something that bothered the man or the woman could have easily just been talked about.
Right.
And said, this, when you did this bothered me. But whether you're the man or the woman, when somebody is talking to you in a mannerable way, you need to come back. You need to not, you said this, like shouting, all that shouting stuff. No. Man or woman, no. Because a person going to react the way that you come at them.
Right.
So you need to be able to learn how to talk to each other. And that's just what I'm learning, man. I'm a work in progress. And that's what, like I said, this is what this podcast is about. It's about us being better people and putting good content out there and to learn. That's why we need the listeners to chime in, to give you opinions and things like that, because I'm trying to be a better man. I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? So if it's anything that I said or anything that Gary said that you don't agree with or anything like that, it's okay. Just chime in, give your opinion, and we can go from there. We can just keep talking, because that's what it's about. And now it's just about me and Gary just coming up with good content to give the women good content on what a man wants. And not saying that things that Gary like and things that I like, every man is like that. No. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you know, but yeah, go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, and even being married, and just so people understand that even if you're not married and stuff like that, understand that even married people experience similar things as well. So when it comes to that communication and things, you know, going a certain kind of way, it's all of us, you'll always remain a work in progress. Even if you do get married, you'll still remain a work in progress even after that. So, that's something that people need to know. So don't just make sure you don't, you know, when you're dating, don't let that kind of go too far with thinking that you can't go to the next level with someone, because just know you'll always remain in that process of growing.
Correct. Correct.
Growth is something you're just gonna do throughout life, regardless.
Correct.
So for some people like that, it might just be one person that hears this. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't perhaps marry somebody just because of something. It's just something that both of y'all just have to keep working on and
Correct.
growing together. As long as y'all growing into the right direction together and
Correct.
listening to each other, it's cool. Just still go for it and go after. But like you said, Rick, with those things about talking at somebody, that's very big, and I'm glad you brought that up, because in a lot of dating situations, relationship situations, marriages, we know that a touchy topic can sometimes be domestic violence, right?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes domestic violence has to be talked about. You need to hear men talk about domestic violence.
Correct. Correct.
And that's something that I really want women to chime into, and let's make sure we get this message out there. And this is not all incidents, but it's definitely some incidents. When, as Ricky talked about earlier, when ladies, when some of you all are talking at men, it's like you're challenging them. So almost look at it like another dude. When you think about two guys coming face to face with each other, you pretty much know what's about to jump off. But you're doing that as a woman. You're coming face to face with a man, saying every bad thing you can say about him and so forth. And then sometimes the man might walk away. And this is not for all women, but definitely for some. Some women, you all will follow that man and still you might be poking at him or pushing him or anything like that. You're provoking a situation to happen. And then when something happens, then you hurry up and getting on the phone and calling the police or calling your family members to come help you and this and that. And it's actually a situation you provoked to happen. So ladies, you have to make sure in any type of domestic violence type situation, make sure you're really being honest.
Mm.
Tell about the part you played in the situation if something like that happens. If
Mm.
you want the situation to come about, you need to work on that as far as how you control yourself and what you say to somebody, that those certain words or those certain things you can do to push your significant other's button. And you have to stop doing that, because that's not fair to the man, that you provoke him. It's like you reeling him in to do something to you. And then when he finally reacts after a long while, or if something like that happens and he finally reacts, then all of a sudden, you acting like Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We can't do the Karen stuff. Okay? So that's not fair to men, that you would even think to do stuff like that. And that does happen. So some of you ladies need to know that. And it goes back to what people say about attitudes and other things like that. That's why I talk about, and Ricky also talks about that form of being pleasant. If you all are, or we all are really out here doing, number one, having God's love. I talk about God's love before I talk about self-love and all
Mm-hmm.
this other stuff, because you need to learn the love of God before you learn all this kind of man-made, woman-made stuff of self-love. I believe in self-love, so don't get me wrong. but I believe in God's love being higher than self-love and so forth, because I believe that's how we learn to love ourselves first in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
From that, but we really got to learn how to talk to each other pleasantly and have a pleasant attitude all the time. All this negative, I'm in your face and all this kind of stuff like that. Nah, that don't fly. Men don't like that. Being toxic is not cute.
Mm-hmm.
Being toxic is not sexy. So whoever you learned it from, it don't matter who you learn it from. I ain't gonna say no specific people, but I could. But I'm not gonna say no specific people.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to leave that with them. Don't bring that into your relationship. You need to deal with yourself if that's how you are. But you
Correct.
need to become a pleasant person if you really want to have a meaningful dating relationship, and then eventually, hopefully, get to marriage if that's what you ultimately want. So I did want to take a minute to talk about that, because that's something we talk about every so often, Rick.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is those type of situations. Did you want to mention anything on that?
No, you hit on everything that I would like to say. I mean, I would just, I guess, piggyback on what you said about, um, just, you know, we I want women to understand that it's not a joke when it come down to like domestic violence, and if you have called the cop on your partner or anything like that, man, because with a man, once a domestic violence is on your record, man, it looks bad, and especially with a situation where it shouldn't have been a situation where you just got mad because you called the cops. And I want women to understand, whether you press charges or not, it's up to that cop's discretion. They can sit here and you could be light skinned, you might have a bruise on your arm, and he just see that, he'd be like, well, you say no, but the cop say, I'm still gonna take you in. And
Right.
all along, it was a situation where it was just also, I didn't want you to leave the house, and we argued about that. Okay, I will say this too. This past experience. Stop holding men against their will. If a man wants to leave the house or leave for whatever reason, I will say this. Because a man gonna do what he want to do regardless, and a woman gonna do what they want to do regardless. It's nothing you can do to stop a man from doing what he want to do. Just stop it. Just know that, like if a man say he need a break and he needs to get in his car and drive, give him that respect and do that.
Right.
Women automatically, they mind, and I could be wrong for saying this, but I'm just saying, this is me just thinking. Women think automatically when a man leaves, he's going to another woman's house. And that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he might just want to go to his brother's house or his friend's house and talk about whatever he want to talk about, to release things. And that's the thing about having good, positive friends, because that's what women don't understand. Because sometimes men go to another, call his partner, go to a friend's house, and he talk to him, be like, "Hey man, this happened," and he be like, "Well, Ricky," he hold him accountable, and that's what I'm saying, by having the good, positive friends in your life. Well, you did this, you shouldn't have did that, and if you respect that friend, he'd be like, "You know what, you're right," and that's probably what he needed when he needed to get away, and then he come back to you, and he could be like, "You know what, baby, I'm sorry." I'm saying this from my experience. Can't speak for other men. I'm not saying all men like that. But what I'm saying is some men, them wanting to get away is not them wanting to go be with another woman. They might just need to get away and blow off some steam. And they can't do that at the house because most women don't allow a man to blow off steam within the house. They might say they need to go in the living room. And 2 minutes later, you come back in there and want to start up a conversation. Me and Gary actually had this conversation. And I told him, I said, my past, I can't have a conversation when I'm mad. I need time to blow off steam. I need time to calm down. So I would say, I'm giving you the blueprint to me. So when I'm telling you this, hey, I can't talk when I'm mad. So give me about 10, 15 minutes. we can revisit the conversation. I know that you want to talk about this, but I'm just asking you, just give me some time to to uh, deal. I mean, to deal with whatever I got going on. However, I'm going to deal with the situation, and that's all. And this is and that comes with respect, because I'm telling you something, and I want you to respect what I'm telling you. And vice versa, same thing with a woman. If a woman tell a man that, he should do the same thing.
Right,
So,
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
so everybody's different. Because Gary, you might be in a situation where you can talk when you mad. I can't.
Right.
And I know that about me, because when I get heated, I'm just like, just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. But if you keep poking me and you keep poking me, what's going to happen? I'm going to blow up, and it's going to be bigger than what it is. And
Right.
not saying that's right. And that's things that I'm working on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it just, it's a learning curve.
Yeah, and what you just said right there, it being a learning curve, because that's what it's about. Like we talked about earlier, really learning who it is you're dating, who you're in a relationship with, and so forth. Once you learn that person, you know what they like and you know what they dislike. So if you're poking at them and when y'all in a heated situation, you're obviously not trying to make things better at that time.
Correct.
So, ladies, please understand that if a man is trying to walk away from you, or he said, I need like 15 minutes, or let me get back with you, let's just revisit that, please listen to him in the same way that you want a man to respect you and listen to what the way you feel about situations. You have to also honor him. And that's what, as Ricky talked about too, that's what this podcast is about, is making sure we understand each other's perspective, because if we do that, we can have more successful dates, more successful relationships, and more successful marriages. But until we really both people, the male and the female, start putting in that work for that to happen, we can't make the progress that we should be making in our community. And we just keep running into these crazy stories about dating and people wanting to run away from dating, people only want to stay to themselves and feed themselves, or really lies, because most of us really want a mate in some kind of way. We really want a mate in your life at some point. You might not want it right now, but it is probably something you want, but it's okay to take time out of it. If you're an individual, and even if you're an individual of what we're talking about that has provoked people, take that time out while you're single to work on yourself, because deal with your anger, deal with whatever it is that's inside of you that would cause you to do that, so you can come back and the next time around and perhaps meet someone that y'all can have a more lifelong or lasting relationship, and so forth. So just wanted to touch on that. So with that being said, Rick,
Yeah.
what type of women do you want to avoid at this point, based off your experience, and why? So that kind of leads right into that, what we just got through talking about. But what type of women do you want to avoid? You don't want nothing to do with them at this point in your life and going forward.
Negative. I don't want to deal with nobody that's negative.
Okay.
No, for real, because I know it's a lot of negative going on in the world, but that's the last thing I need, because we know that. I don't want a negative woman in my life. I don't want a woman that's not trustworthy. I don't want to hear about your past. Hold on. I don't mind hearing about your past, but I don't want you to bring, as Erykah Badu said, that baggage. Right. I don't want a woman bringing all that baggage into this relationship, because I want women to understand this too. With a lot of men, we dealt with shit too in the past too, just like women. If men get cheated on too,
that's right.
Men get hurt too. So it's not fair that women bring baggage into the new relationship or dating when a man doesn't. So to me, when I meet somebody, yes, I've been hurt and things like that, and it might be something that she did that reminds me of that person, but I'm giving you a clean slate, and I'm just like, I'm giving you the benefit of doubt. like I said, if I'm dealing with you, I'm gonna go in a confident basis, saying like I trust you. Some people
Right.
can be like, "Oh, you too stupid." Cause this is. I don't care about what other people saying things like that. I'm with you. I'm dating you. I'm trying to get to know you. But once we're in a relationship, I trust you. So the number one thing when I'm trying to avoid is the negative, not trustworthy. Um, um,
The negative, the baggage.
yeah, the baggage. It's simple, man. I mean, baggage, not trustworthy. Uh, that negative energy. Because I will say this too, ladies, that negative energy, just like whether it's at work or anything, that negative energy, it you as a man sometimes you might not even want to be negative, but if that's all you hear, you become that. You become that negative person, and you don't even realize it. If you in that just negative mindset, like that's all you hear every time you talk to your old lady or girlfriend or wife, and she just, because that's the thing. We all, when it comes to the job, right? Things happen at the job. The woman or the man want to come home and talk about the job. You listen, and after a while, it just becomes the same thing over and over again. And I'm gonna say this from a man's point of view. We want to listen. But I always say this: when it comes down to negative energy and job and things, I always say, what can you do about it? Apparently, you don't like this job, so you need to change it.
Right.
Anything negative in your life, you need to change it. We have the power to change it. A relationship, a job, anything. So you in a negative situation because you want it to be negative. Because we have the power to change it. Job, you can change it. That's why a lot of times with me, when I'm dealing with stuff, I don't want to put that energy out there. If I'm dealing with a woman, I don't want to put that out there. I want to put out positive energy.
Right.
Like, like as a people, what we need to do. And I was talking to another friend about this, Gary, and I want to just
You good?
going up about building wealth, not just living in the present, but living in the future, building for our future, building for our kids if you have kids. Okay? So when it comes down to jobs, so when I tell people right now, when I say I don't want to work for nobody no more, it's a
Right.
reason. It's a reason. It's a reason why. Because I'm realizing, and there's people telling me this, like, as long as you work for somebody, they always gonna tell you what you're worth. And as an individual, you know what you're worth. But as
Right.
long as you work for somebody, they gonna sit here and tell you you're worth $30 an hour, whatever the case may be. You be like, "What? I'm more than that." But as long
Right.
as you work for somebody, so creating wealth for your future. So that's what I'm big on now too. Is the fact that because I'm looking at when it comes to Asians and white Caucasians or whatever, but what they doing is building generation wealth for their future,
Right.
the
Right.
kids. And I think as a community, and I could be wrong on this, I'm just saying this is something that as the black community we gotta do better at is creating better opportunities for our future. And that's our kids and things like that. Because if we keep living in the moment and just thinking about dressing nice and going, to different countries or whatever, and we ain't thinking about our kids because our kids gonna go through the same thing and the same stress and things. And we have to change that mindset. I want
Yeah.
us to change that mindset. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you good. Yeah, yeah. And like you said, that's definitely something we need to be focused on. And as it relates to dating, to bring all of that together, that's something that should be discussed on dates because the older we get now, being 40 and so forth, or somewhere
Yeah.
within that
Let me
range.
stop you there. I'm not 40, bro. I'm 25. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm 25. So somebody just told me that today. They see my license. They're like, man, you don't look 40, you look 25. I said, okay, I'm going to run with that.
Right.
I'm 25. I'm 25.
Yes.
40
Yes,
is a
take
new
it.
25, brother.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you this, Rick. But yeah, well, I was gonna just say that dating, that's something that we need to talk about in dating.
Uh-huh.
What you just talking about, that generational wealth and finances and so forth.
Uh-huh.
Just to kind of get a snapshot of that person's life and what they feel like is important.
Mm-hmm.
As it relates to money, the way they make decisions about money, saving, investing, opening a business, whatever the case may be,
Correct.
because that can be something that you can also partner on in a
Uh-huh.
relationship
I agree.
and move forward. And we can, dive into that just for a little bit, anything, man, ideas of opening a t-shirt business,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, investing or any other type of business, all that kind of stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
working together. That's make what I'm very big on is talking
Mm-hmm.
about working together at the
Uh-huh.
end of the day.
Uh-huh.
If two people work together, it makes your life so much more simple if you just work together. Start
Correct.
working. Ladies always know this. We are not competing against each other. We in a
Correct.
relationship because we're supposed to be working together. I shouldn't be fighting your mindset, and you shouldn't be fighting my mindset. We just have to say, hey, these are the solutions. This is what we want to focus on. This is where we disagree. How can we bring that together? That's
Correct.
what we need
Correct.
to be
Correct.
talking about.
Correct.
And not all that back and forth, talking at each other and all this and that. Nah,
Correct.
let's just focus on what it is that's going to solve the situation so we can move forward. But with all of that, like if somebody agreeable, if you're agreeable, pleasant, and so forth, then everything should, work itself out in the relationship. So
Correct.
Rick, I think I'm gonna ask about two more questions and then we'll probably hop off, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
One, how would you feel about a woman approaching you?
Like I said, to be honest, I'm a simple guy.
Uh,
If she do, she do. Like I believe in whether you're a man or woman, you go for what you want. So
right,
sometimes some guys are shy. Some
right,
some guys they might see it's certain things that a woman or a man can do to get a person's attention too. So that's why I want people to focus on. When you keep locking eyes and you keep making eye contact,
right,
y'all into each other. So somebody needs to break the ice because like I said, I'm an extrovert. I'm a people's person. And if I'm out, I'm not as outgoing as people may think I am, but if I'm out somewhere and somebody keep making eye contact with me, I'm going to approach her. But I feel like, well, from a woman's standpoint, if you keep locking eyes with a guy and you like him and he keep locking eyes with you, it's okay. I'm not saying you got to approach him, ask him for his number, but break the ice. Because sometimes that's what guys
right,
need. Just break
right,
the ice. You know what I'm saying? Because with me, I break the ice and I go boom, just like that. But some guys, and it's okay, man. Let's get away from the guy gotta be the gotta do this and do that. No, let's get away from that. Let's focus on, like if you want a guy and you see him, because this is what happens. You get home and shoulda, coulda, woulda.
right, right, right,
I should have did this. Or God, you know how many times I did that in the past and when I was younger? A woman did everything she needed to do for me to approach her, and I didn't. I'm like, oh, Ricky, you should did this. That's what I'm saying. You got to jump on opportunities, man, because opportunities and present itself right then and there. And you don't jump on it, you lose it. And who
right.
knows that could be your wife or your husband?
That's true.
You don't know. God throws certain situations out there to you, and you just don't know what can happen.
Right,
So you can't be afraid. all that rejection stuff. Let me tell you something. When we using your teens and stuff, yeah, don't know about, even when you older, don't know about like rejection. But if you sitting here and all mad because somebody turning you down now, something wrong with you. Because we too grown for that shit now. We already know everybody's not gonna like you. God damn, like it's just a situation where it's just like, man, you just have to be confident in who you are. If you're a good woman, know that. Okay, that guy, he ain't feeling you like that. It's okay. If a guy, look, I've been skinny my whole life. Okay, it is what it is. All women don't like skinny guys. All women don't like skinny tall guys. It's okay.
Right.
If you oversized and short, it's okay. Whatever it is that you think that people don't like, everybody likes what they like. That's what it says. It's somebody for everybody.
Yeah, that's true. I
You know
know
what I'm saying?
that.
So my whole thing is on that. It's just we just gotta, that confidence has to come within. Know that, okay, if you're a guy and you try to holler at that woman and she don't like you, it's okay. I have talked to women and they probably lied to me. Said they had the man, they didn't. It's okay. Hey, well, I wish you the best. Move on. Because, it just wasn't meant.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're gonna find that person that you care about and think about it. And that's all that matters. Like, you just have to be confident within yourself. Know that what I bring to the table is good, and whatever I'm bringing to the table is good, and I know I'm a good person. As long as you know that within, you good. Go ahead, Gary.
Would you encourage more women to do that?
To approach guys,
Right.
I would say this. Yes, but in a different way. And I would say this because I told a woman a long time ago, I said, man, guys don't like the aggressive woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, a man still want to be a man. But you can do enough to make him confident enough to approach you. So I believe this. Let a man still be a man, but do enough to feel confident enough to approach you. Because women can do something. They can say something to you. A woman can say something to a man and be like, this is a good show.
Right.
See, that's the ice broken.
Right.
Ooh, you go from there. Well, I would say, yeah, don't I would say, yeah, don't approach a guy. I'm old school. Don't approach a guy. Cause that's I'm old school. I just think, man, a man want to be a man regardless. A man want to be a man regardless. So a man, now I'm not saying that if a woman approach a man that he's not gonna like that, but what I'm saying that, again, a man want to be a man. So he want to feel confident. Women, so my advice to women is this: do enough for a man to feel confident to approach him.
Gotcha.
Do enough. So wink your eye. You can wink your eye. I'm not good at winking my eye, so you guys excuse me. But wink your eye or keep making eye contact with him.
Right.
And or even like you can just come up and just start a conversation. Start a conversation with him. And if he don't take it from there, then but I don't think a woman, I'm old school, I don't think a woman should ask for a man's number. Not saying it's wrong, but I don't think a woman should do that. You gotta let a man be a man. Let a man be a man. Let a man feel like he's a man by doing it. Because a man, at the end of the day, we know we got men talk. And it's like, a man's not gonna feel confident talking to his boys and like, man, how y'all met? Well, she approached me. I'm just saying, it's not a good conversation. A man want to say, yeah, man, I saw her at the carnival and I approached her. You know what I'm saying? She winked the eye, came up to her. Right. That's a better storyline versus, she came up to me and she started hollering at me. Like I know it sounds good. I mean, from a man, like nah. A man want to be the aggressor. A man wants to approach the woman. Period.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna talk about me. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So me and you got two different personality types. So
Definitely.
you're an extrovert.
You're an
I'm a
introvert.
super introvert.
Uh huh.
Super introvert. So I would have been totally okay with a woman
Okay.
approaching me. But it's like what you said, though. I do agree with what you said. I agree with her approach you, maybe starting a conversation
Uh
and
huh.
breaking the ice and
Mm-hmm.
make it easier for you to want to ask for her phone number and other things like that.
Uh huh.
Because, like I said, there's a lot of women, and this one thing I wanted to say, there's a lot of women that I never talked to because I was an introvert. And when I say introvert, I was a super introvert, super
Okay.
shy, super introvert, so forth. Um, one of the one of the people I went to high school with was a young lady. She did like a poll. I forget what the question was that she asked, but she maybe asked something like, "Who was your crush in high school?" Something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So um, everybody was everybody was answering the question, and it was on a Facebook thread for our high school.
Uh huh.
And everybody was doing it. And then I don't know what it was. I don't know, maybe it was like 999 comments or something like
Uh huh.
that.
Uh
So
huh.
so we got to the last day and somebody was like, anybody want to make it 1,000 comments or something? Might as
Yeah.
well just kind of round it off, something like that.
Correct.
So I
Correct.
went in, so I went and just chimed in out the blue because I'm like, okay, I'm married now. It is what it is. I went
Correct.
ahead and just chimed in, and I named like four girls that I had never. Well, I named four girls.
Uh
Three
huh.
girls I had never said anything to before, so they wouldn't have known that I was even interested in them at all. They wouldn't have even known. It was just
Uh
totally out of the blue for them. And
huh.
one of them did. One of them did know because even at that time when we was in high school, I think I might have just wrote her a note or something at that time, and she just never responded. So
Correct.
obviously, we know no response is a response.
Correct. Exactly.
So after she turned me down after that, I didn't even think to pursue the
Yeah.
other one. But one thing I messed with one of my other homeboys about that went to high school with me is the good thing about the ladies that like for that thing that we were doing. I looked at all of those women where they are now, and all of those women are married. So it let me know that I did a good job of kind of looking at women and kind of assessing is this type of marriage type a woman, is she marriage material and so forth and stuff like that. Because like
I
I say,
agree.
all of
Correct.
them pretty much are married to my understanding. So, but it was just a cool assignment. But like I say, but getting back to that, for me and my person and ladies, that's something that you all need to understand about men. Even though you all may see us all as being aggressive and with us all coming after you all and stuff like that, there are some men that don't talk as much as others. They see you too, but they don't have that same. Some of you all might say confidence, bravado, and it's not. Don't think that somebody like me that's a super introvert that I'm not confident. That you
Mm-hmm.
would be wrong to think that about me. It's not that I'm not confident. I don't approach a lot of people, whether it's male or female, even if I need something. A lot of times I might not even approach it unless I just really just have to have it. That's when definitely gonna do it then.
Correct.
But I'm very introverted, very laid back. So the only time for a lot of people, only time you're gonna see me talking really is on social media. And
Uh
that's just gonna be me typing a post. That's not
huh.
me really communicating like this. So this
Correct.
right here is different, and I'm more comfortable with this because obviously I'm talking to you. You
Correct.
somebody I've been doing for years, but if it was like a stranger I don't know, per se that I would be the same way because I would have to be comfortable with who I'm
Mhm.
around because I have to be around people, especially at this point in my life, that I really trust.
Correct,
If I
correct.
ain't got that trust and I ain't got that relationship with you like that, I'm probably gonna be sitting in the room. I'm gonna be listening to you and just kind of observing you. And a lot of
Uh-huh.
people that even that I worked with over the years, even at my former job, there's people I was at that job for about 15 years, and some of those people might not have really even had full conversations with me, other than just hello, hey, how you doing every day or something like that.
Correct.
That's the
Uh-huh.
only that's the only conversation we might have had the whole time I was there,
Correct,
unless
correct.
something took place that brought us together because that's how much of an introvert I am. I stay to
Correct.
myself, and I can see people like let's say like you, Rick, like
Uh-huh.
somebody at my job, let's just say they had your type of personality. I might
Uh-huh.
be sitting back like, man, that's a cool dude, or that's a nice woman, or whatever the case may be. I still might not say anything to you, but I'll be
Uh-huh.
like, it's a cool person, and that might just
Uh-huh.
cause me to just say what's up to you a little bit
Correct,
more
correct.
often, or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I see somebody have a comment here. So they say, for me, it's about the energy that one gives. Getting to know a person you want to talk to makes all the difference in what you want from that person to create a possible romantic relationship. So absolutely. Um, yeah, so getting to know a person makes all the difference. Absolutely. That's what that's what we talked about earlier, having that good conversation, building that good chemistry with someone and then building from there. Because, like for me, I know, like for me in dating, let's say, because dating was always uncomfortable for me because I was an introvert. So me meeting random people, having to get your phone number, then having to start from scratch with you, it's like that was just uncomfortable for that in itself was uncomfortable for me because of my personality. And
Correct.
like I was telling you earlier, Rick, and just in this conversation, it was always easier for me to talk to people who I've been around a
Correct.
long time. I went to
Mm-hmm.
school with you, or worked with you, or
Mm-hmm.
we just shared environments often, go to church together, something like that.
Correct.
That was more comfortable for me at the end of the day, versus me just randomly approaching. Now I did some approaching, but I never really liked that. I was
Correct.
never
He
really
wasn't
comfortable.
comfortable. He wasn't comfortable.
I was never comfortable with it because it's never
Uh-huh.
my personality to do that like that. But what you
And, you
think on
know,
that, Rick?
eh, and to piggyback on that, man, I'm more of an extrovert, but at the same time, I had my moments when I'm shy too, and because, like I said, at the end of the day, don't nobody like rejection. Don't nobody you you overthink things when you thinking about that person. Like, if they don't like me, am I going to say the right things? It's not a right or wrong thing to say. All that game and all that, you sitting here telling yourself, oh, if you say this and you say that, you're gonna get women. Man, forget all that. I
Right.
always tell people, just be organic, just be yourself. Because if you being yourself, if a person doesn't, yeah, gravitate towards that, then it just wasn't meant to be. And we have to understand this. We all different. I'm more, like I said, I'm outgoing, but I have my shy moments too. But at the same time, me being outgoing, what I'm trying to learn is, when I'm dealing with a woman, is a lot of times I've been told I have a flirtatious personality. So, and yes, and I say to say this, I say sweetie a lot. I call everybody sweet, like, oh, it's okay, sweetie. It's just natural. I just say that. And I know that could be very disrespectful to a woman. And that's something
Okay.
that I'm learning. So I don't mean nothing by it. I really don't. But I'm just learning. I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. I won't. That's what I'm saying. That's when the communication come in play gear. When I'm dealing with somebody and say, well, I don't really like it when you say that. Tell me that. It's okay,
Right.
because if I care
Right.
about you and I care about your well-being, I'm gonna change that, because I know last thing I want to do is disrespect a woman. Because that's one thing I learned too. No woman wants to feel second to anybody other than God.
Right. Absolutely.
So I have to always put people uh, in front of the woman I date. So I'm gonna jump here. Far as women friend,
Uh-huh.
I used to always go hard for my women friend. I still do, because I feel like there's nothing going on. Anything you want to know, they got husbands, wives. I've been friends with them over 20 years. So I always struggle with that, to a point where it's like, man, you always talking to her, and I'm like, but I'm talking to her in front of you. I don't have anything to hide. If you feel like I'm talking to her too much, tell me that. Which that's not the case, because I don't talk to none of my friends, male or female, like that. But I used to be like, well, that's my friend. Oh well, deal with it. That was me in the past. Now I'm more like, I'm more open to listening to what they say. And if they just feel uncomfortable and I care enough about her to say, you know what, I don't mind having a conversation with my female friends and say, I got somebody that's special in my life, and she's just not comfortable. So, I can't, I don't know how I would word it, but it would be in a situation where it's respect to a point where it's like, I see a future with her, and I don't want to jeopardize that because me and you are still friends. And when I say that, it goes the other way too, because if one of my female friends come and be like that, I'm not gonna take it personal, because you just have to respect it. And who knows, man? They might come around and be like, I was wrong for that. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, when I'm dealing with somebody, I know this can be something that's special and something that I can work towards marriage. I'm not gonna let uh, a female companion, a female friendship, jeopardize something that I can have in the future. Like I said, and it's sometimes it's sad that it has to be like that. To be honest, but that's the world. Because to me, I'm talking, speaking for me, Ricky. I would never want a woman to end a friendship with a male that she's been friends with forever, as long as she's being respectful. I know about him. You can have conversations in front of me and with him. And if I feel any type of way because I feel like you got something to hide, then okay, yeah, got a problem with that. But if you ain't got nothing to hide, you can have conversations with that friend and things like that in front of me. I don't have a problem with it. Because at the end of the day, you had a life before me, and you have to respect that. We all got to respect that. You had a life before you met me. As
Right.
long as
Right.
you're respectful, because we all know having good friends is hard to come by, whether it's male or female. It's hard because
Oh man.
me being a
Absolutely.
male, it is. I got good male friends, just like I got good female friends. They there for me just like a male friend. They're just the opposite sex, and that's what I want us to focus on. I'm not a jealous guy, and that has been negative in my life too. Because that has been told to me, you very nonchalant. Like I don't care because I don't care about you having a guy friend. That's crazy to me. Because I'm so nonchalant, because I don't drill you like most guys do. Oh, who's that on the phone with you? What was he
Mm.
talking about? No. And everybody's different. Because
Yeah.
this is what I want women to understand. The reason why I ask those questions is because I trust you. That's why. I don't ask no questions and I don't beat you down over the head, because I trust you. Let's lead with trust, ladies and men. You don't have to do all that ish or shit if you trust the individual. So let's start there. I'm just saying, I know we all different, but if you trust the individual, you don't have to do all that. Trust me. Because Gary, me and you had this conversation, we talking about friendship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And me and you, we just talked about this earlier.
You go ahead. Yeah.
And if I got my girlfriend, we're at the house, and I gotta leave for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta leave. And I'm like, I'll be right back. And you stay there with my wife or my girlfriend. If I have to second guess, oh shit, I shouldn't have did that. Or if you have to second guess why you did what you did, because if you're friends with somebody, you trust the individual and you trust your wife or girlfriend, you should have to second guess that individual being around anybody. But let's talk about friendship. Let's talk about what we talked about earlier about.
Yes, sir. And Ricky, while you doing it, I'm gonna just you can stay on that same line of thinking.
Bring it up.
I'm gonna just put the question out there.
Yeah, please do.
So the question is, should your friends have your significant other's phone number? And also with what you're saying, Rick, should you leave your friends around your significant other by themselves? If you had to leave, should you leave your significant other around your friends if they were at you all's house or wherever the case may be, along the same line of what you're saying now? So what do you think about that?
And I want people to chime in on this. I want people to leave comments, please.
Yes,
because
Ashley, Ricky's coworker, he wants you to leave a comment or join the live to talk about it.
Ashley,
yeah,
so please. Personally, I think it just depends on the individual. With me, people who I call my friends, which a word that we should not use loosely.
Right.
People who I call my friends, I don't have a problem with them being around the person I'm with by themselves or anything. Having their phone number, people I call my friends. If you're an associate, or if I had to second guess why person say that, anything like that, if you have to second guess anybody, that's not your friend. That's what I want people to understand. It's hard to find a good person, a good friend. It really is. And I just want people to understand that I'm cool with it. And I think I'm so free to the point where I'm just like, a person gonna do what they're going to do regardless.
Right.
I don't care if I'm sitting here going through your phone. I don't say if I'm questioning you about everything. You're gonna do what you want to do regardless. Whether I'm treating you like a queen and you meet a guy that's look better than me, it doesn't matter. Because a person gonna do what they want to do regardless. All that you can see here do is just be the best person that you are. So if I'm with you in a relationship, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, she gonna do this and things like that. But a situation happened to me where a dude, I ain't gonna call him a friend, he was cool. So I guess we could say friend, cool, associate. He was in that cool stages. He was cool. He knew things about me, but not everything.
Right.
And I think we all got them. We got friends that know everything about you, and you got friends that I just don't trust them like that. They cool. Right. I just don't trust them like that. Then you got associates where, I go to the club with them, have a turn up with them.
Right.
Got the people that's cool that know a little bit about me. They seem cool, but they got to earn that trust.
Right.
I got my friends that I trust. So that's one thing I think we got to distinguish. So like with me, far as friends, so I told Gary, a coworker of mine said something when I brought that conversation up.